Alright. Let's see what item... Alright, that's not good. So, okay, let's go through blooming. The problem with bloom, you can't have healing items, dude. Every healing item in the game that's past white rarity is the worst item in the game. And it upgrades on category, so you can't have this. You need to scrap it and hope that you get something else. I also have negative luck right now, so hopefully we get a clover. The one downside, I say downside in quotes, but the one downside is I can't get more stacks of bloom unless I buy them in the lunar shop, so that means I can only, you know, get like 3 items transformed per sage. So that's something that's happening. Didn't think it's too OP, so Race had to nerf it. Yeah, you know what? We can go with that. Start making up lore. I mean, in reality, I think Benthic is good. I just think it's unfun, and that's okay. We can have opinions like that exist. Hey, quick interjection here from Race from the Future. You may notice a few things a little different, like perhaps an adorable dog on your screen and a bloom in my inventory. If you don't know, we recently held a charity stream and some of these things were milestone rewards. I have to do a week of bloom, Echo gets her spot for a bit, and you can even expect ego runs in the future, and some other stuff. Anyway, enjoy the hijinks and my suffering. Alright, so this is where we make decisions, right? Because like I am going to lose whatever crit I pick up, probably. Or I have a chance to do so. Do I want to just lock in with some fucking Brit early, or won't even proc? Not with the negative luck. No, it's all about the long game. I mean, hold on. We can have like, you know, some Bayasses coming in. We're not opposed to such things. I'm the kind of person who never get a gambling addiction based on how you play it. Yeah, listen, I live my entire life on that premise of I think gambling is actually bad and mentally harmful, and so I go out of my way to not gamble. Can we just like end the chant shrine? Thank you. That's great. That'll be great for exactly 5 minutes until we lose that. Oh, another healing chest. Dude, I'm glad that we got a ton of healing this stage and not anything else useful at all. Dude, if there's a scrapper, there's not, but, you know, if only there could be. I need that lunar coin very badly. We need to up our lunar coins again, so no dreaming for a bit. I would kind of like to dream with bloom, though, you know? I want to get that, that bizarre value. We'll see if we get there. The gas is saving. Good thing we got a fucking useless item. I mean, it's technically damage. Does bloom still have -1 luck? Yes. Yes, it does. And it's gonna suck really bad when these sides upgrade to 2 Aegis. I don't know. I think I do maybe get the Vrit. I think the possibility of us getting a Clover is decent. I'm gonna get damage here, and then... you know, when in Rome, you know? Just fucking take shit. Please don't convert the sides so I can scrap them. How'd you go about unlocking slicing wins? I would go to YouTube and type in Cabbage Risker Rain 2 and then watch the newest video. Personally, that's what I would. Okay, we got a lot of green. We lost the focus crystal that we wanted so dearly. We lost our gas, which is the only thing that was keeping us alive. That's fine. It was all part of the experience. Kept the sides. It may not look very good, right? But keeping the size is actually amazing right now. We could have been straddled with 2 reds that would have been useless the entirety of the entire run forever. But instead, we just have a lot of greens, and we're prepping for a nice blue portal. So it's okay. Or a good green for me. Alright, and we open the god chest. Yep. Listen, I'm glad of my character pick. Maybe next one we go bandit though. Or something. Someone who has damage forever. Wrap printer. Okay, so there's things you gotta think about, right? You gotta think about the viability of going into utility items for utility greens and reds. Because there are a couple ability reds that are pretty good, and going all in to a wrap printer to lose out on the bungus so you can get an actual good item later on might be good. These are just things you gotta think about, you know, when guessing is carrying. Yeah, that's why we need another one very badly. There's a lot of void cradles on this map. I'm just gonna... Yes. You know, I will lose my speed eventually, but right now I'm living. That has the potential to help me out quite a lot, so yeah. Okay, we got damage item. I think we go to the portal. I think we need something to happen, and I would be willing to trade some greens for something that could help me out. So, good thing there's like 6 void cradles on this map that we have to spend the time getting. Well, we have a kind of AoE here. When these get low enough, they'll do AoE for me. So, you know, in a sort of coping way, we're just going to charge this TP. Basically is what's going to happen. Alright, now we kill everything. What up, Mr. Tarkov? When did you name yourself that? 2 years ago? This name fills me with shame. Yeah. That's like naming yourself like fucking Mr. Blizzard or something. Like in 10 years ago, and you're like, oh shit. Like, alright, that wasn't too long of a boss fight. We'll just do it again. I mean, there are people, though, that are named like, you know, Nintendo Fan 42, so I was gonna joke about that, but like, Nintendo has some people in a fucking stranglehold, actually, for Stockholm fucking syndrome maxing. Alright, I need healing. Actually, so bad. Hey, you know, we just take it. Just taking all voids. Harry Potter adults for video games? Holy shit, I've never made that connection. That's an insane proposition. It's kind of similar because, like, the only reason... largely. The only reason that Harry Potter fans, are adults, is, like, A, they're lying, and, like, their kid really likes it, and they're like, yeah, you know. Or they've never read another book in their life, actually, past the 6th grade, and they're just like, dude, it was so good. No book's better than this. Fantasy magic? That's crazy. It's a shame that there are no series as good as this. But I'll never read anything else, so. Okay, 2 more, and then a potential. Wasn't there like a normal drone runner? Yeah, heal me the fuck up. Armus Fowl stands at. I read Armus Fowl when I was younger. It was alright. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the concept. I was like in some class, I don't know. They had like a ton of books. I was a kid, so whatever. I pulled a book off the shelf, Armus Fowl something, and I was like, okay, sure. And I read like the first chapter of it, and I was like, this is pretty good. And I realized it was like the 3rd book or something. I started the 1st book, and I realized that first chapter that I read of the 3rd book already spoiled a ton of shit for me. I was like, shit. I was pretty sad about that when I was a kid. Fantasy school in a world that is almost like ours? Wow, so creative. True. There it is. Why couldn't I have gone for that one first, dude? Alright, we make some tough decisions. I'm gonna go for the region scrap. The UK, my favorite fantasy setting. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. They do crazy shit there. Like, put beans on everything. It's so otherworldly. I don't know, we lost. Actually, I know the region scrap. But convert the sides. Do not convert the sides. They convert the sides. God damn it. At least he got a headset. But, you know. We're just fucking Giga dashing now forever with no damage whatsoever. We also brought the card here, so we're Giga gaming. Card up, baby. Who's your favorite Risk of Rain Return survivor? Ooh, I don't know. Drifter, actually, never mind. I figured it out. This is just our life now. We're just doing this until the day we die. Respirant turns Ripper is just too cool, dude. I'm trying to think of any other characters I specifically like super fell in love with in that game. Merc Parry in that game is fucking sick. Do you think the DLC will do any substantial changes to current items, like making red stack well? No. I think personally, this is like just like my opinion, and this doesn't actually reflect reality in any substantial way whatsoever, potentially. But I think that they're gonna do as little work as possible, and by that I mean not rebalancing the entire game that was proven to be successful. They're just going to put something on top, a new layer of like lettuce, and then they're gonna ship it out. Let's keep our keys, shall we? Ooh. Okay. If the new layer is good, that's all I care about? Yeah. Like, I think there are some, what I would call issues with the game, but those are mostly showing themselves in the form of bugs. I don't really think there's like a huge, massive, what I would call a problem with the game. I have a lot of hours in this game, and I think after some time, feel kind of jaded about certain things and the way they're done. But that's because I have an obscene perspective that's not supposed to be shared by anybody. Oh, went through the wall. Went through the wall again. Double take. Is this one of those runs? Or that is already crazy to focus assault, 3 is nuts. Yeah, we can just kind of do whatever we want. I think, this is why I chose Merc. We have basically infinite movement now, which is great, regardless. What were you? Sorry, I didn't see you before. Alright, we're about to lose everything that we know and love. I still would like a Clover, because I still have -1 luck right now. No Scrapper, by the way, which is really bad for blooming. Okay, we got an ICBM, and we have a wood key, so we could get Plimp. I don't have enough coins to fucking dream. More headsets? I have 5 headsets. Jesus. Predatory Brain Coat Whips. Do you think objectively bad items like Singularity Band and Zoya should be buffed, or do you think having some items balances the item pool? So, this is a very, like, controversial opinion, I would call it, that I have about item balancing in roguelikes and popular video games. I understand that developers make bad items on purpose to make it so that when you get the good item, you have dopamine. I just don't think that works as well as a lot of people would like to think it does. Because I think there's always items that are better than other items, and there's always going to be items that are bad in not the vacuum that you're in. And so no matter what you do, you can't create all balanced items anyway. So naturally, there's going to be worse items. So it might as well just make things that are usable instead of things that are categorically unusable and unfun all the time. I look at games like Slay the Spire, and I'm like, damn, that game is way more fucking replayable than any game I've ever seen in my entire life. Primarily because of that reason. Yeah, and like, you know, there are some items that are made to be so fucking shit, like you see it and you just groan, and you're just like, oh, dude. It's a perfect item, it's trash 90% of the time, it has that 1%, it's very fun. I think that's not good, actually. I think bad items, in quote, personally, should be niche, right? And I think Squid Polyp, even in its best case, is really bad. I'm lagging so bad right now. It is really fucking horrible, even in its best case scenario. I think Firework is an amazing example of an item that is bad, but can be really good with a cool build. And that's what you want. I don't think Steak is a good item that has a place in this game, currently. Like, it's just like wasting my life. I'm just going to scrap it every time I see it. Did Steak have a purpose before it was Bison Steak? No. It's always been a really bad, useless item. Its purpose is to be bad. Like, I just don't think that has a lot of value. I'd prefer having to have an actual thought conscious decision making when scrapping something, where I have to lose out on something good for the benefit of something else, instead of everything being automatically either scrap or not scrap. I would like if scrappers were for thinning out suboptimal items that don't necessarily work for your build, not throwing away actual trash. That is exactly the thought process I have right now. Correct. Because, like, you know, I think scrappers should be like, I mean, you know, I have a very idealistic view about this, and it's not real or based in reality, because it's never going to happen. But I think scrappers should be like, okay, I want to kind of pivot into another build, and not just like a routine maintenance where I scrap stake, stun grenades, bandolier, pennies, harpoon, stealth kit, squid every single time I go there. I would rather be like, well, I kind of want to go in this build and it might work better, and like giving this up is kind of a risk, but like we're gonna do it because I have more potential going through. Or like turns burst without scrappers, that pull isn't diluted with shit like this in the game. It is. It's just like there's not as much of it, I guess. The thing is, like with return, they kind of have a similar problem where like there are just like objectively trash items, and you don't notice it until you play a lot of runs, and then you start to realize that only like X amount of items are actually doing anything for you at all, and it's always the same items doing anything in your run. And that's when it gets a little bit more boring. Because if you can scrap them or not, it doesn't matter. They're just like useless. They're just like... Look at item like Aegis. Item that categorically useless 99.99% of the time, but has a cool use in a single build. It's unfortunate the build in question. My favorite build in the game, Hellfire Wrap, Final Ruju Crack. But Aegis should not be a red item. The only reason they made Aegis a red item was to make it rare enough to where you didn't pick it up all the time and you didn't actually have to encounter it, because it is that bad, right? Which is a weird system, because I would prefer if red items were good, because I would like for them to make me feel good and happy. But hey, look at that! You got a boss named right after you. Why not buff Aegis so it's usable then? Because the devs thought it was funny, and they think it's good to have really categorically bad items. I just think I have a difference of opinion, personally. I think it's more fun to have niche items, like fireworks, like you were talking about, than something that's always bad forever and will never be used, except by the 1% of people who are just starting the game and don't understand it. But again, that's me, having 5,000 hours in this game, and realizing the patterns of builds enough to the point where I'm like, I want something a little bit different from it. And that's not always the normal player perspective. So I think for a very for the game that it is, it's very fine and well made. And I think it does give the feelings that they're hoping for the expected amount of play hours that you're expected to have. Chronos was good. If it was, it'd be what healing items needed to be usable on Eclipse. Yeah, it's like I don't know, because like it really is the bridge that would make healing builds viable. That and Aegis, right? Like people would use healing and not just treat it as a fucking joke for what it is in late game stuff. That's items don't make sense. They're hard to come by, so why are they just bad? I mean, the same with red items, you know? Like, half of all items in every category are shit and unusable, except wet items. Wet items has the most good items in its category. That's why it's the best category. Are objectively better than red? Correct. I think like 60% of reds are shits in most situations. Make every item fucking suck to bring them down the same level as every other item. Yeah, just make everyone sad all the time. That's why I really like a mod that changes things up, so like you can get like a rare Aegis that actually works or something. I don't know. That'd be fun. It was only a matter of time. We spoke it into existence too much. That's my fault. I should not have said it. I should have started talking about how good Clover and Drone Man was right before I opened that chest. Okay, we got Meat Hook, Infusion. Meat Hook from Squid Follow-Up, that's a pretty good upgrade. We're happy with that. We need to find our key box so we can get missiles. I found it. Plump, plump, plasma shrimp, plasma shrimp. Okay. Maybe another light state, I don't know. Make large challenge chests give you white items. Unironically, they would be like 1,000 times better. And like, okay, I don't want to argue with anyone. This is not what we're doing here or anything. I'm not like, oh, time to fucking pull up to the podium and present your case to the thing. Does anyone like really disagree with making items more niche instead of just bad? Just out of curiosity, because that's fine if you do. I'm just curious. Let's get you. Take. Big take. Hate fun of any kind. Yeah, that's what I thought. What character do you think is the most sensitive to what items you receive? Probably someone like Commando or Rex. So they need the most items to be like viable in their runs. See the reason behind items being good and bad, but I feel like it makes the game more black and white. Learn what items are good and know what items are bad, but it doesn't matter what items are used for. Correct. That's what I feel like. I'm glad a lot of us are on the same page with that. Because like I am perfectly fine with making an item that has a rare use case. And would it be considered, quote, bad by many people a lot of the time? Because I think that's fun to get the rare run. And I think that's cool. But I don't think steak build is real. And, you know, stuff like that. It's like, okay, with some items being bad, but it's like half. It is a lot of items. I do think, though, it's more of a representation of the knowledge that you've accrued over the playtime in the game to realize enough that are bad. And also, we have to de-level a bit and realize that the standard mode for this game is Rainstorm, which makes more items seem a lot better than they are. So we're really not the community to be talking about this, where it's like, oh, we need to change the game balance. I don't know, it would be a little bit self-serving, but like, oh. I also wish in the same vein that the high level of this game mattered a bit more to more people and was respected more by the game makers. I think Scythe is good, but from a coast perspective, it's terrible. Yeah, or like at least like just not very great, right? That's how the top 1% of every game feels, though. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think the natural comparison I jump to a lot is Slay the Spire, who has a similar type Ascension Eclipse system, and the top difficulty is widely very respected and sought after for everyone who plays the game. Or, you know, not everyone goes for it, but they're just like, damn, that's crazy and cool. Half the people who play this game, or more, I would say like 75 to 80% of people are just like, yeah, Eclipse is lame and stupid, and I want to heal and use it, which is fine. Or, like I say, a lot of people don't know what Eclipse is, because it's hidden in a menu or whatever, also. And I think it really just comes down to one thing, it's like it's not in the difficulty select menu, it's in its own thing. And no one opens that menu because they think it's not the game. It's like, I don't want to play some mini game, I want to play the main game. Boop. How are we gonna screw it? Most people close to Vampire Survivors. Unfortunately, it is. But it doesn't have to be. It could be like a, you know, it could be both. It could be different things to different people. I wonder what would happen if like Vampire Survivors put in an Ascension type mode. I don't even play it, so I don't even know if it has one. But I wonder how people would feel about it. And like, I'm sure people would grind it. It's your dream. That's what I'm saying though. Like, I feel like if people knew that it existed, they would enjoy Eclipse. That's what I mean by that as well. I want to play the Risk 2 pinball game, but all I found was the Eclipse thing. Is it a bug? Yeah, it just seems like the same game. I don't want to make walking harder. I think it would work all that well. VS is a pretty low skill ceiling. I mean, hey, they have like levels that are harder. Don't they keep coming out with harder levels? Like, people want harder shit to grind for, I guess. It's not like it would be any that different. It's just a rebrand of what constitutes the difficulty. There's a point in most games where you're too good to enjoy the base game, and at that point you either move to a harder difficulty, or that doesn't exist and you stop play less. Probably games like this, yeah. I just feel like, you know, a lot of people stop playing this game for that reason though. They play Monsoon or whatever, and they're like, damn, this shit's not that hard, and they leave, and they never come back. Especially when you can literally just have an active cheat on at all times in Monsoon. That's right there. It's like, hey, do you want to use command while you play Monsoon? You can. It's right here, jingling the little keys, and you're like, ah, okay, all right. Let's actively shove the sentry in your face. Correct. And I think that's an amazing design choice by devs who really want you to progress further through the game and understand it and learn and be better, instead of just being like, you beat Monsoon, congrats, you're done. Someone should make a mod that puts Eclipse in the main menu so we can just put the mod in every mod pack, or make every mod dependent on it so that people find out it exists. That'd be crazy. No clue about Eclipse before I watched Race. Let's do like a chat poll, shall we? 1, if you had no idea Eclipse existed, like you didn't find it on your own. 2, if you found it on your own and you understood what it was on your own fully. Yeah, that's a lot of ones. It's a lot of ones, dude. I'm telling you. It's too many ones, actually. Ooh, I have missile. I have a card. That's crazy. Hey, don't take my missiles. That's so sad to see. That's what I'm talking about, though. I mean, this is just a very... I mean, let's put it in perspective, also. This right here is, like, the essence of, like, the Eclipse community, right? These are people who know what Eclipse is. Imagine how many people still don't know what Eclipse is at all. Now that's the crazy part, right? My first watch, surely it won't be taken. For sure, Steam achievement for Goldie 8. The devs didn't want it because they didn't want it to force Eclipse in people's faces, and they didn't want players have to play it. I kept my missiles, we're in. And I'll say it again, because I'm pretty proud of it, but the Gold Eclipse badge was originally my idea. And I told Hopi about it, and they were like, yeah, that is a good idea. And then they fucking put it in the game. So I feel like I've done more for promoting Eclipse playing than most anyone else. So, I don't want Resonance Disc. I need to find that key box. So I'd like the game more after starting Eclipse time? Yeah, I think most people do. Advocating for brain code, not deleting EA. That was a bug. So what happened was, it was a bug. Because it was, and they said it was. Several times, all over, everywhere, and acknowledge it was a bug, but in between the release of the DLC and the patch that they came out with, they were also deciding if they wanted to keep it as a bug, but then they didn't, because it was a bug and it was not fun. Yeah, the fact that like Eclipse has to show up on people's YouTube homepage for them to understand what it is in the game that they play all the time is insane to me, actually. So... We're gonna do so much damage, it's gonna be sick. At least, honestly, we have ATGs, but we have -1 luck. I just lost all of my health in one swipe. Okay. We launched an ATG. Alright, I have 5 fucking headsets, so I can just keep fucking stomping, dude. Just keep it fucking going, man. Very likely I die during this fight. Ow. Okay. We made it through phase 1. Did anyone look at the clock? When did I enter that fight? Please proc Vrit on this clone. That's all I need to be happy. It's so unlikely to do so, though. You know, I just realized I didn't take my key box on stage 5. I just left it open on the ground. I'm pretty sure. Minus 2 key boxes for absolutely no reason whatsoever. This is a life, yeah. Wake up, stomp, go to bed, wake up, stomp. Alright, now we lose. It's gonna take so long. Alright, this is pizza 1. I'm gonna count how many pizzas we have to do. I'm gonna try to. Because... Ow. That was a very unfortunate dash. That's pizza 2. Broke my fucking saver spaces. The last needle around the corner. Pizza 3. 4. Five, 7, 10, 11. Watch me die in phase 4 mythos. I don't have my saver spaces back. Okay, now I don't. I would have died. Jesus. Alright. First bloom run is a win. I'll fucking take it. 15-minute fight? Ugh. At least we have the dashes that we needed. What was in you? How much would you have helped? None. Okay. Sure is a good omen for future runs, surely. I feel like a lot of the time to make Bloom like really fun, A, you need to get like a hyper good roll, B, get an FMP build, which is like a subset of A, or you need a loop or something, and I don't want to do that, so. Are you being held captive or are you doing a Bloom run? I am being held captive actually, by my own values.